11/2025. The time is 3:01. Clerk, could you please call the Finance Committee meeting to order?
Alderman Keith Larson.
Here.
Alderman Dan Barreiro.
Here.
Alderman Edward J. Bugg.
Here.
Alderman Carl Franco.
Here.
And Chairperson Ted Masiacos is present.
Clerk, could you please read the approval of the minutes?
Item 25-0697, approval of the minutes from the Finance Committee meeting held on August 28th, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Alderman Franco, second by Alderman Barreiro. Hearing there is no questions or comments. Is there a motion to approve?
I did that already.
Did it? I'm sorry, not motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries 5-0. Okay, Clerk, do we have members of the public wishing to provide public comment?
Yes, we do.
Would you please read the name, please?
Pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, all persons shall be permitted an opportunity to address public officials under the rules established and recorded by the council. Under our rules, any person may address the Finance Committee for up to 3 minutes with a maximum of 30 minutes allotted for all public comment. No person other than the timekeeper or the chair, for the purpose of maintaining order, may interrupt a person recognized for public comment during his or her comments. Members of the Finance Committee shall not engage with nor respond to a speaker during the time set aside for public comment. Staff is directed to follow up with members of the public with respect to any concerns raised during public comment. Andrew Faville.
Will this timer kick off?
Mr. Faville, yes, the
do I
green
start?
light, yellow will give you a warning, 30 seconds, and red, you're finished with
Okay,
3
very
minutes.
good.
So your time begins now.
Good. Good afternoon, members of the committee. My name is Andrew Faville. I'm here to put a face to a name. I'm here with Phaelix Corporation. Phaelix is a 98-year-old Illinois manufacturer that was started in Chicago and moved to Aurora in the late 1970s. It is run by me, the third generation in the company, and is being taken over by my son, a retired Marine major, fighter pilot, combat in Afghanistan, and a Navy flight instructor, now operating the organization. We're both pilots. I designed aircraft for maritime patrol applications in countries around the world, back with Beach Aircraft and Raytheon years ago. And my son and I volunteer as pilots for the Veterans Airlift Command, flying disabled veterans around and ambulatory children through Angel Air Flight. We have organized a company, a holding company called TD Hangar, LLC. This is a company that's wholly owned by me and my associates. It has no involvement with JA Air or other operations on the airport. We do not have leases with anybody for the hangar. We're using it for our use. We operate 2 aircraft. We've relocated Phaelix now adjacent to the airport and have developed a number of buildings there. My past in the community has been extensive. I've been the investment committee chair for Wabanzi Foundation for 20 years. I've now resigned from that position. I ran the Illinois Food Bank capital campaign to bring the Northern Illinois Food Bank into Kane County. I have done historic preservations both on the governor's mansion as well as multiple buildings in Geneva and been award winners there. I have also been the chairman of the Illinois Manufacturers Association for a couple of years. I'm here today to let you know who I am, who our company is, and what we're trying to accomplish. 4 years ago, I started to build a hangar at the Aurora Airport, and it is still not approved by your committee, which needs the mortgage approval documents. And we have had to be forced to close down our construction because of this lack of approval. In fact, this week, we've suffered extensive financial damages because we've had to unload 6 trucks we couldn't deliver because we didn't have this mortgage approved by your group. I know it's held up in legal somehow or another. We've presented this to your organization back in 10 of 24. It's been a year that we notified the airport. It's been since July. We were told of this year that we would have this in August. Because we do not have it, we had to shut this project down. I'm here to ask you today to have a special committee meeting and get that mortgage approved. Or in lieu of that, if you're not interested in economic development or having this airport developed, we would like to know, because we will stop the project, take our losses now, and move on. We need the support of the community. If the community's not interested, we're just asking to be notified so that we can operate appropriately in our manufacturing business. Thank you very much.
Perfect timing. Your 3 minutes are up. And I believe we have staff here in the mayor's office. I can touch base with over here. Oh, this gentleman right back here. Right
And what would
there.
you like me to do? Just visit
Have a
with-
conversation with them, exchange your contact information as well.
All right, well, thank you very much. Thank you for the
sir.
time.
All right, do we have anyone else, clerk, wishing to provide?
We do not.
Nope, all right. Clerk, would you please read the first item on the agenda then?
Item 25-0628, a resolution authorizing the Director of Purchasing to issue a change order to the existing contract with Purvis Systems Incorporated for a fire station alerting system.
Hello, Chairman Misiakos and members of the committee. Jeff Anderson, Deputy CIO. This is a change request to the original resolution for Purvis that was approved on February 13th, 2024, for new fire station alerting system for all of the fire stations. We were asked to not bring the new fire stations that are listed on here as part of that thing that came on May 15th, May 13th, but to bring it as part of a separate Purvis change order. So that's why this looks so large. But we're now getting towards the end of the Purvis implementation. It looks like it's going to go live here at the end of October. So we have all of our change orders all buttoned up here. We know we're not going to have any more. So this is what we're here and asking you to approve today. Stop there, and I'm sure there are a lot of questions.
Any questions from the committee? I'd like to ask you a question real quick. This is being pulled out of government operation bonds funding?
No, it should be coming out of ETSB funds. That's where it's
Okay.
coming from. The 911 service
All right.
funds. Yeah.
Hey, and I hate to ask this question, there's money in that fund, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right then.
We have to get that question answered before I can even come here. Right.
Okay, well, we've heard a few things recently, so better be safe than sorry.
Understood.
What's the wish of the committee?
Move for adoption.
Second?
Okay, motion approved by Alderman Barrero, second by Alderman Carl Franco. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
Thank you very much.
Clerk, please read the next item on the agenda.
Item 25-0676, a resolution authorizing Angie's Place to provide the City of Aurora Police Department wellness checks for the period of January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026.
Good afternoon. Chairman Masiacos, Vice Chair Carl Franco, and the other aldermen on the podium. I'm LaDonna Carr, the Director of Training and Development, here to ask for your approval for Angie's Place to be the wellness check for our police officers. This is a mandate from the state. They want us to make sure that our officers are mentally fit, and they have an annual wellness check to make sure they're able to perform their duties. We had a number of, we had 5 companies that we looked at. We did not choose the first one because we were more comfortable with the second, with Angie's Place. We have with us Officer Kaylee Young, who was part of the committee of the police department. There was 3 of them that went and interviewed and looked at all the places, and their unanimous decision was Angie's Place would be the best organization to assist our police officers with this wellness check. They are able to accommodate our varied schedules and work with our employees so that they can have a complete wellness check and make sure that they're able to perform their duties.
Just curious, state your name and.
Sure. My name is Sergeant Kaylee Young. I am currently assigned to the Patrol Division with the Aurora Police Department.
Okay, and you are here for?
I was just recently selected as the wellness coordinator within the
Okay.
police department, so I was part of the process with choosing which provider we decided on.
Okay, and I know there was a brief mention about going with Angie's Place as a ranked number 2. Can you explain a little bit more about the choice or provided before us to go with number 2? Because I think the term was accommodate schedules. Was that not discussed during, or was that a factor during the ranking?
It was. When I stepped in, we had narrowed it down to 2 options. Angie's Place has multiple locations that were a little bit closer to the police department, which was a factor in determining. They also have approximately 21 licensed providers, which was a significant amount, considering we have close to 350 police officers that are sworn right now that would all need to go through this annual mental health check-in within 1 year. So it was, their scheduling was more viable for the size of our agency.
Okay.
More questions?
Question.
Question, Alderman Franco.
So who was doing the wellness checks prior? Or were we not doing those? For the police
It was
department?
not mandated by the state.
It was not mandated?
Yes, this is now a mandate by the state, an unfunded mandate by the state, so that we have to take it on.
Okay. So, and this is maybe a rhetorical question, even though it was a mandate, we weren't doing it, but we could have done it, I guess. But now we have to do it. Is that how that works out?
Yes, we
Okay.
did, when we felt that an individual needed to have a review of how they're acting or performing, we did use outside agencies to assist us.
On an individual
agree.
type of basis type of thing? Not for all the officers? Or
No.
just for those in need, I guess?
Distress.
Okay, all right, okay. All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Oh,
Motion to
Alderman-
approve.
Alderman Bug.
Second.
Thank you. In looking at the ranking, RFP ranking, and you discussed a little bit on the personnel staffing, and Angie's Place got a higher score in that. Really, the difference in the 2 scores is a project approach. So, the Wellness Center, First Responders Wellness Center, are ranked considerably on that one measure. Everything else is almost a wash. So it's always best to go out and see the sites and see what's really there. But tell us why First Responders Wellness Center, why they got such, I mean, they got 100 out of 100 on that. Angie's Place scored well down. So what are some of the criteria on the project approach, and how does that factor in?
So, LaDonna, you want me to?
Yes, please.
So we had 3 people that were from the police department. There was a commander, lieutenant, and myself who all went to both agencies. We went there separately, independently of each other, as to make our decision more individualized. And we went to both of them. We spent a little over an hour at each one. Unanimously, we decided that Angie's Place felt more equipped for the very specific needs of first responders, based on the amount of providers that they had that have very close ties either with military, police, fire departments. The atmosphere in there was more conducive as well for all of us in terms of feeling less clinical. It felt like a place where we could more freely express the unique needs that we do have as police officers.
Okay. All right, well, that was on the site visit. So I'm just talking about the evaluation criteria, if you have that in front of you. Under project approach, it's 100 points max. First Responders Wellness Center got 100. Angie's Place got 88.
I don't have that
And
in
that's
front of
really
me.
the difference in,
Yeah, I
the rank.
apologize. I don't have that in front of me to reference.
Okay.
I don't know if LaDonna's got the.
I do not have that information.
If you recycle, you might get it, because I did not have it. I recycled it, and then I got it. So I don't know if you got your iPads there, but it just popped up.
it's, there we go. 24-124 RFP final ranking. That's the last attachment.
124. Oh, okay.
Oh. Actually, Q needs to respond to this. Excuse me.
I see it right here. You do see that right here. So we give them an 88. That wasn't part of the ranking, so it's hard for me to talk about that part. But I imagine, I'm sorry, we're looking at it now. I wasn't part of the ranking, but based off what I'm reading, I would surmise that it's probably because the First Responders Wellness Center has been established longer. Angie's Place is more of a, what some people may refer to as a grassroots organization that is a little bit newer. So their process was a little bit more open if we're looking in terms of the project approach.
Okay, I don't mean to nitpick. That would be under experience, the second criteria.
Okay.
I'm just looking at project approach. This is the difference in the ranking. Project approach, 100 out of 100 for First Responders Wellness Center. Angie's Place, 88. Who was on the ranking committee?
It wasn't me. We could look into that and get back to you on this question, if that would be helpful.
It was the prior administration. We'll have to get back to you.
Oh, okay. So possibly some of those people are no longer employed by the city?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Well, that answers most of my questions. So if you went there, Insight, and you feel great about it, I'll second the motion.
Well, we already had a motion and a second. We have a motion by, I believe, Alderman Franco and a second by Alderman Barrero. I think it's best to try to clean up the presentation a little bit more fine-tuned, understand it. For one, we don't have an itemized, I couldn't find an SOW unless someone could help me, statement of work that's mentioned in terms of their pricing guidelines. I'm figuring there's just a budget line item and you're gonna draw it down on the budget as you go along. Am I correct?
Yes,
Okay.
it was put in the HR budget.
Okay. So just a little bit for clarity. Scoring happened, 1-2, ranking came out, site visit was had, the decision was made to go with number 2 based on the site visit.
Correct.
Okay. I recommend provide some of those hourly rates too for the committee and for all of us as well, so we understand too exactly what happened during the pricing a little bit more. And the
Okay,
ranking.
we will do that.
That's a big difference as well.
Okay.
Moving forward. So we have a motion and a second by Alderman Barrero. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you.
Clerk, could you read the next item on the agenda?
Item 25-0693, a resolution authorizing agreement for administrative services with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois for HMO, PPO, and Value HSA Group Health and Stop Loss Plan Administration for period January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026.
Staff has asked to hold this item till the next meeting, so we're going to put that on hold moving forward. So at this point, Clerk, would you read the next item on the agenda?
Item 25-0708, a resolution establishing health and dental insurance monthly rates of contributions for pre-Medicare retirees effective January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026.
And, all right. Please state your name.
Elizabeth Coronado, Director of Human Resources. Good afternoon. Here to present to you the insurance rate renewals for pre-Medicare for the periods of January 1, 2026 to December 31, 2026. As indicated here, the renewal is a 0% increase for Medicare retirees at this time. Would you like me to go over some additional information?
I'd say yes. We have a new alderman on the committee as well, a newer, and even though I know Alderman Barrero has great expertise in this, maybe longer than all of us combined, perhaps, but not to date him. But
Yeah, so the city offers retiree insurance to individuals who qualify upon retiring. If they are not age 65, they enter into pre-Medicare retiree rates. As an employee, you get all of the same benefits, but the rates are different. So the offerings would be PPO, HMO, or the high deductible HDHP.
okay, all right. Alderman Barrero.
Yeah, I have a question regarding the, maybe I can ask the question after she's done with all these. My question has to do with the differences in the different groups of employees and why they're different. And do they you know, how do they change? How are the adjustments factored in?
So as a retiree, the rates are frozen at the time of retiring. So it would depend on their individual collective bargaining agreement.
Individually or as a group?
As a group, so the firefighters, 3298, 1514. The majority of our employee organizations are under the same contributions. However, there are some that have been negotiated slightly differently.
Yeah, because when you look at it, they're different groups of retirees, and they're all different. So
Correct.
So I don't know what the rationale is to get a certain percentage of the cost by group, or you know, what was it based on?
So the city's overall goal in long term has been to get all employees' contributions to 20% of the premium. And we are slowly getting to that. I believe we have one more collective bargaining agreement that we need to get to that point.
Right, so I guess my question is if that was the goal, do the adjustments, are they, because they're different, right? It doesn't seem like they're paying the 20%.
So it freezes at the time of retiring. Or 65, I apologize.
The pre or the 65?
The 65. So that's not here before you today. So this is pre-Medicare. We have another agenda item that we'll add to a subsequent finance committee that will be for Humana.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Bug.
No, I don't have anything on this.
Oh, all right. Alderman Franco,
So moved.
motion by Alderman Franco. Do I have a second on the
Second.
motion? Second by Alderman Larson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. Thank you, Ms. Coronado.
Mr. Chair,
Oh, yes, sir.
I have a general question on the matter that we skipped, just from experience. I understand you're not ready to fully present on that matter. However, when we look at this matter, that usually gets held over anyway. So my suggestion would be if we could just even get an introduction to that. That matter always takes a number of meetings. So if we
Sure.
fully pass that, then we'll be doing the introduction
I-
2 weeks from now.
Yeah, I can go ahead and give you a brief overview. The reason why we're putting it on hold is because we don't have the attachments. Blue Cross Blue Shield wasn't ready to give us the attachments for the item, but I'm fully prepared to speak on it if you'd like.
I
Well,
believe that would be
let's
very-
hold it to the end, see how
Okay,
long this
that's
meeting
fine.
lasts first,
That's
or
fine.
else we'll push it off for 2 weeks from now.
Sure.
So,
It's a big matter.
No worries. All right. So clerk, please read the next item on the agenda.
Item 25-0710, a resolution establishing Cobra Insurance monthly rates effective January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026.
Elizabeth Coronado, Director of Human Resources, here to present to you the insurance COBRA rates for 2026, January 1 to December 31st, 2026. The rates that are included in the packet do include the 2% administrative fee to the current health and dental premiums. And just for your knowledge, COBRA is for individuals who separate from employment but who need to continue their health insurance. So they do have the option of opting into COBRA within the first 30 days.
2% increase from last year, is that what you're saying, right? It's right here in front of me. So is that normal, 2%?
2% administrative cost, yes.
All right, okay. That's our administrative costs, or?
The administrative costs that we pay to Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Okay, all right. Any questions from the committee?
So moved.
Motion by Alderman
Second.
Franco, second by Alderman Damborero. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Clerk, please read the next item on the agenda.
Item 25-0711, a resolution authorizing Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois for group health care services and rates for the period of January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026.
Elizabeth Coronado, Director of Human Resources, here to present to you the insurance renewal rates for January 1, 2026 to December 31st, 2026. This will include all active employees, HMO, PPO, and HDHP. For the premium rate increase, we have a PPO of 2.5 and an HMO increase of 2.5%. And for 2026, the HDHP is a 10% increase.
Okay. Any questions for the committee?
Imagine these are based on our experience.
These
Or
are
history.
based on our overall utilization. So if based on the HDHP utilization, we should have technically increased it by 23%. But because we don't want to do that to employees, we would like to gradually increase it if necessary. HDHP has not had an increase in, I believe, 3 or 4 years.
Okay. All right. A lot of fun stuff today here, Ms. Coronado, isn't it? Okay.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Franco.
Quick question.
Oh, question. Alderman Bug.
I know there's a breakout on some of these. Is vision under this one? Or is that gonna be totally,
Vision is included in in the plan itself.
okay, so the vision is lumped in there?
Correct.
Okay.
I can second, can I? No? I'll second the motion. Alderman Franco's motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? 5-0. Motion passes. So we'll find out if I'm in trouble or not. I don't remember the last time a chairperson made a second on a motion. But all right. I believe, Ms. Coronado, that's about it with you, correct? Presentation-wise?
Did you want to go over the whole
Oh, in
held
a bit.
item?
You're gonna have to wait a little bit.
Okay.
Let's go through the agenda real quick, if you don't mind. Clerk, please read the next item on the agenda.
Item 25-0638, a resolution authorizing approval of the summer 2025 historic preservation grants and allowing the mayor to enter into historic preservation grant agreements and addendums.
Good afternoon, Jill Morgan, Senior Planner. So this is, if you recall, just do a brief background of the grants. As you recall, the city did approve $1 million for the historic preservation grants for this year. We also expanded the program to include both owner-occupied and rental properties up to 5 living units. We also increased the amounts, so the maximum amount increased from $20,000 to $30,000. And then all grants at or under $15,000 require no cash match, and all grants over $15,000 require a dollar for dollar cash match for every dollar over $15,000. And then the final $1,000 of the grants is additional funding that can go towards a homeowner's match requirement if they use a local contractor. So we received 39 applications this year, representing all districts, the National Register districts, and local landmarks. The work ranged from tuck pointing, window repair, chimney restoration, to structural stabilization and porch restorations. We did conduct some additional outreach, so we got a lot more applications this year. Alderman Garza and Alderman Seville hosted a joint open house for their districts. We also did digital mailings, and we have some signs that we're putting in the homeowners when they're doing the work, and we'll try to continue that next year, as well as maybe even reach out to go to some public meetings that some of the aldermen women have. So the Preservation Commission ranked all the applications, reviewed it. They evaluated all applications using a 5-point scale, with 1 representing the highest ranking. In order to reserve funds for a second application round this fall, with awards distributed next year, the Commission recommended funding all projects ranked 1 through 3. Projects that did not receive funding in this round may be considered for the next cycle. Funding recommendations were based primarily on the scope of each project, with priority given to owner-occupied homes. Each application was assessed according to multiple criteria, including but not limited to the condition of the property, historical significance, potential public benefit, impact on the streetscape, visibility, and the extent to which original materials were preserved. This is informational at finance. It was approved or recommended for approval at BCE yesterday. Would you like me to go through the brief presentation? I have some photos of the houses.
Yes.
Okay.
If it's brief. Sure.
Now we'll keep it brief. All right. So 77 South View Street, it's a local landmark. The project is for tuck pointing for a grant of $31,000. I'm sorry, that one was for tuck pointing, window repair, and painting for a grant of $31,000. 22 South Lincoln Avenue, that's the Near East Side. It's for siding restoration and painting, door hood repair and replacement, and chimney removal. You can see they've already started the de-siding part of the project on the left that they've done on their own. So this would be a maximum grant of $31,000. 231 South 4th Street in the Near East Side for porch restoration for a grant of $6,435. 233 West Park Avenue, this is in Tanner. This is for wood window restoration, masonry restoration for a grant of $17,586. 312 South 4th Street in the Near East Side. This is for porch restoration, a maximum grant of $19,610. 335 South Lincoln, this is for porch restoration, the Near East Side, for $15,400. 411 West New York Street, this is in Tanner for porch restoration, and restoring the picture to the right is not the front porch, this kind of the side porch, for a maximum grant of $27,750. 435 West Danner, this is in the West Side Historic District. It would have to become a local landmark. This is for porch restoration, actually almost kind of rebuilding portions of the porch, for a maximum grant of $31,000. 515 Oak Avenue in Tanner. This is for porch repairs for $6,215. 526 Palace Street. This is in Palace Street. This is for window restoration for a grant of $25,633. 547 Fifth Street. This is a local landmark. Was actually just recently, in the past 2 years, became a local landmark. This is for window restoration for a grant of $19,154. And they're proposing 2 phases for all their windows. This would be for phase 1. 18 South Main Street. This is the west side. This is for foundation repair for $20,848. 123 South Highland. This is for a local landmark window restoration for a grant of $15,620. 154 158 South Lincoln. This is in the Near East Side. This is for window restoration for a grant of $31,000. 169 South Lincoln Ave. This is for siding and trim repair, gutter repair, and painting, including work on the historic carriage house. This is for a grant of $22,113. 311 Green Avenue. This is in Tanner. This is for window restoration for a grant of $17,438. 332 Plum. This is in Tanner for siding repair, porch restoration, and painting for a grant of $15,960. 361 Lawndale Avenue. This is this is in Riddle for tuck pointing and window restoration for a maximum of grant of $31,000. 427 Pennsylvania. This is in Tanner. This is for window replacement to replace 5 vinyl windows with historically appropriate windows for $11,550. 444 Iowa. This is for siding repair and painting for a grant of $24,175. 448 Pennsylvania. This is in Tanner. This is to replace vinyl windows with historically appropriate windows for a grant of $7,432. 456 Wilder Street. This is in Tanner for tuck pointing and rebuilding a masonry wall. This is for $17,988. 548 Garfield. This is a local landmark for replacing gutters with half-round gutters and soffit restoration painting for $10,000. 726 Oak Ave. This is Riddle chimney restoration for a grant of $6,655. 727 Oak Ave in Riddle Highlands. This is for custom wood storm windows and doors and painting for $25,688. 128 South Lincoln Ave. This is in Near East Side for siding replacement and painting and window replacement of non-historic windows with more appropriate windows. A grant of $22,148. 338 Grant Place in the Near East Side. This is for $9,240 for window restoration. 361 West Park Avenue in Tanner for window restoration for a grant of $9,240. 433 Oak Avenue. This is in Tanner for tuck pointing, complete tuck pointing on the entire building for a grant of $19,775. 109 through 111 South 4th Street, Near East Side for replacing gutters with half-round gutters for $9,927. And 340 West Park Ave. This is in Tanner for also new half-round gutters for $12,276.
Well, I'm glad we saw that presentation. You put it together, so my feeling is we should be watching it, so we're seeing it. I'm excited to see the 3rd Ward represented in here. Maybe down the road I'll be down there with the photo op opportunities like my colleagues typically always are. My first question, how do we notify, if at all, people in these, or residents in these historic preservation neighborhoods?
We send mailings out to all homeowners and to the residents as well if they're non-owner occupied, letting them know a call for applications for the grants.
Okay, and we do that every year?
We do that every
Okay.
year, yes.
Great. 2, my other question is, looking at your grant agreement template, page 5. what type of it's article, or should I say paragraph 6.2, what type of a financial incentive do we provide, if any? It's left blank. Is there a percentage?
Oh, it's based on, the financial model. It is, we will fund 100% up to 15,000. Anything over 15,000, we'll only fund half of it.
Okay.
So it differs from every project. That's how we determine the amounts.
All right, okay. And the next page, 7.1, you also have another blank. And timing of the obligation.
Yes, typically, this one I will give through, since we're approving in September, I'll give them through September, the end of September, so a year.
Gotcha, okay. And is there a grace period if something happens, like Murphy's Law? Or?
We do extensions. We try not to, but we definitely have done many extensions,
Okay.
especially with contractors. I know it's hard to get them
So
on
you don't
time.
come down with an iron fist?
Yes.
You could provide some levity there. Okay, all right, fantastic. Any questions from the committee?
I have one question.
Alderman Barrow.
Chairman Masiacos, thanks. My question is, can property owners reapply, more than once? Because looking at some of these projects, look like one had tuck pointing, but let's say in the future they might need windows.
Yes, absolutely. We've actually, several on the list have gotten multiple rounds of funding. We actually kind of recommend people to break it down into more doable projects, especially since it is front funded because we reimburse it. So to try to break it down to smaller projects, we really actually recommend coming back more than once.
Any other Alderman Larson.
Thank you. Yeah, I have a question. There's a resident that I've been in contact with that lives in a historic home, and he was interested in getting help with roof repairs. I believe that's not covered under the current grants, but he's having water damage as a result of it, and insurance isn't helping him out. So I was wondering if there's any possibility for expanding this to include roof repairs in the future, or why that might be excluded at the moment.
Right. So we exclude asphalt roofs, and the reason we did that, the grants are really to try to help homeowners with the additional costs that's associated with doing the repairs historically accurate. Our regulation for roofs is really no different than any other homeowner in the city, so that is why we decided not to fund asphalt roofs.
Okay.
Okay. What's the will of the committee? Is there a motion?
It's just informational
Oh,
only.
information? Oh, yep, yeah, you're right. It is information only. Okay. Is this going to go to committee of the whole?
It will go to committee of the whole, yes.
All right, fantastic.
Right.
We'll see those pictures again.
All right, great.
Thank you so much, Ms. Morgan. Clerk, please read the next item on the agenda.
Item 25-0719, discussion regarding online Aurora.
Do we have our chief of staff here today or no? Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Shannon Cameron, Chief of Staff, City of Aurora. What can
Good
I help you
afternoon.
with?
Good afternoon, Ms. Cameron. I appreciate you being here today to discuss this. In light of what was brought up before us at a committee of the whole, more questions obviously popped up in my head, going back and researching some of the things that have been already put in print in the past years, past 8 years. I have some select questions. I'm not looking for answers per se today. I am looking for answers down the road and an understanding of next steps moving forward, particularly from the financial side. And what does that mean for the city as we are responsible for all debts of online Aurora? If I'm correct, it was over $1 million. Question one that popped into my head was they're over $1 million in debt, if I'm correct.
Yeah, 1.1, I believe.
Okay. So when I read the contract, that we have, the agreement with them. This is the question I want answered, because this is what's written in the contract.
Is this the master, may I just
Yes.
point it, a master
Yes.
service agreement
Yes.
dated in 2015?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Right. The grantor shall guarantee the repayment of grant commitments or loan instruments up to a total principal value of $500,000, provided the terms and conditions are reviewed and approved by the chief financial officer of the grantor. So, 1.1 million is a lot more than $500,000. And so right now, we're on the hook per agreement for $500,000.
That is how I understand it.
So-
I will say, if OnLight chooses, that board chooses to dissolve, we can get back the asset, which is the fiber, and we can assume the whole debt with that choice as well.
So my next question for you as well is, does the grantee maintain insurance of $12 million, an aggregate limit?
I can't speak on
Or
that,
10
but I
million,
can
I'm sorry, 10 million.
ask that question.
Each occurrence up to $2 million. No, that's what I said. I just want to get these
Yeah,
questions out
yeah,
there.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
writing them down.
Are they carrying their insurance? Very important. I'd like an update, a status update on what was described to us in February 28th of 19, where we approved a $90,000 contract on the 1,000 job initiative matrix, migration to a central square cloud system. Something also around January 7th of 2019. I'd like to have a fiber extension. There was a fiber extension in Naperville, a $200,000 contract. I'd like the status update on that for the committee. The other thing as well, around November 28th of 2018, we did an extension of fiber tie-in at the southeast side of Dale and Neola. That was a $178,000 contract that we approved. Tie-in for 3 to 4 private business entities, one of which was Scientel. Eventually we found out, because at the time we approved, there were non-disclosure agreements. Legal at the time was looking into ways to discuss it in closed session. I believe we did not ever get into that closed session. In around May of 2024, there was a financing agreement for fiber to Habitat for Humanity for the Green Freedom subdivision. It was a $243.6 thousand contract, in addition to previous CIP approvals, which totaled to $1.35 million. I'd love to know what the status, the connections on the 17 homes are at this point as well. Something else that was talked about in April of 2018 about us being a regional tech leader, especially with everything going on right now with the construction over at River Edge Park, and its status of becoming a smart park. I'd love to know what the status is of that and what the construction that's moving on, if it were keeping pace of whatever was planned for. Also, in October of 2022, funding for learning centers, it was a $100,000 contract. Status of providing internet access as part of the No Child Left Offline program that was launched in January of 2022. So I want to know what the status of that is, knowing that nobody's there anymore, uncertainties of OnLight at this juncture. What's our overall liabilities? Have our investments come to fruition, or are we still waiting for completion?
I can make a comment about the last one. As far as the No Child Left Offline, we do make payments to OnLight 4 payments a year of $25,000 for a total of $100,000 the city makes in order to get fiber and internet access, I should say, specifically to several identified community centers. Some of those have chosen not to continue using our fiber, but many of them continue to as well, as far as I know. But I'll get that specific answer for you, and probably OnLight needs to come do some sort of presentation at some point when they're able. But I do think as far as that goes, that is a contract that goes through October of 2027. So says that legislation that I looked up to kind of prepare myself.
Now, when I came in, it feels like such a long time ago. We did have presentations, the Weiser administration, yearly, where Ted Beck would come and talk about online Aurora. We haven't had that in a few years. I can't recall last time if he did at all, come and give us an update.
Sure.
Michael Pegues, if he came in and gave us an update, I would say probably no, unless I was sick or something that happened when I was on vacation and missed one of the rare days. But I'd like to find out, and I think the committee should know too as well, when we are going to start having those annual updates. And then the other thing too is what was discussed with Chief Management Officer and recorded, Alex Alexandru, was to revisit the agreement and that it needed updating. And I want to know what the status is, if anything, in terms of discussing and discussion-wise of looking into that agreement, moving forward and revising that agreement so this doesn't happen again.
So I can say that
situation.
2012, there was a master services agreement updated in 2015. Certainly, it's been 10 years. So I imagine that I would just ask that the committee consider that all new board members, new volunteer staff member is on that, is doing their best to get up to speed on all of these things and truly dig in on it. So it may take some time to see what the next steps are, but I certainly can follow through with this and try to get a report. None of those people involved were involved in this prior, so it will take, they're digging in and spending a lot of time on it regularly, but
Understood.
yeah.
You're all working on the budget as well. I'm very comfortable with coming back to us in the first quarter of next year
Okay.
with an update.
Sure.
Sooner rather than later in that quarter, for me preferably. But it's something that was also brought up by the late Alderman and Acting Mayor Robert O'Connor at large when he was chairman of this committee. And it was in the paper as well. But what's the situation with this relationship between the city and OnLight? It's really unfortunate that we're talking about it 8-9 years later, but here we are. We're still talking about it. So with a big long pause. So I don't know if the committee wants to chime in at all on that, but I thought it would be very important that we do get the ball rolling to provide us with information, but more importantly to get back onto the system of someone from OnLight, especially if whatever the decision is to move forward with OnLight, that we start getting those reports again. And then make sure that our financial advisor starts providing us with data too when we ask them. The last two, I will tell you, refused to give me information
Okay.
from the previous administration.
Yeah, we, as far as the financial data between, that's coming in from OnLight or going out from OnLight can, as far as I'm concerned, is public information. So, happy to send those reports over.
Like I told the mayor, I just have my questions. I think they're important for the committee to know the answers to them and moving forward with the situation that's before us.
I asked finance to pull the last 3 years of any money going out or in from OnLight. I can certainly send that over.
Yeah, because the transition was, we were just, it seemed like we were, maybe I'm wrong, but we were financing all their projects. And my thought is, if you're losing clients, you're losing revenue, yeah, it makes sense. But even if they were, are the projects that we did invest in, are they providing anything fruitful for the community, or even the business community? Not just for the residents, and I think that's very important to know.
Sure.
So, Alderman Burrow.
Chairman Masiacos, I have one more thing to add for the list of questions, and that is the status of the 60505 Innovation District. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. We'll get that.
Alderman Franco.
Did you say that if this organization is dissolved, that we could take over the asset of the fiber optic? Is that not our asset as we speak? Isn't that part of the agreement that it's our asset? So we're not getting an asset, we have an asset. I mean, I just want to make sure that's clear. 'Cause
So
that's ours.
from what I understand, yes, we lease it,
Right.
but in order to have that back, we would have to assume the debt because otherwise it would be sold off to pay for that debt, is my assumption. That's how I understand it.
All right, let me think about that for a second. So it's
And
our
I can-
asset, but if something were to happen, we'd lose that asset? Is that how we're going with this? Because
From what
think-
I've been told, or from what I understand, is that, I can look into this, and when we have a further presentation, and I can reply via
Right,
email, that there may be, that we would have to assume the debt fully to have it all come back to the city. Otherwise, it might, there would be other avenues to pursue that debt to be paid off. But we can look at the legal answer and for that and get back to you.
Yeah, I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
That couldn't connect those dots. If it's ours, it's ours. And,
Yeah.
so unless we're in bankruptcy or something, somebody's going to take our assets. I would think.
Well,
that
Onlight would be on bankruptcy
Well,
themselves,
so
but,
there's
yeah.
avenues for that, sure. Okay,
Yeah.
it was a peculiar thing. I wasn't quite sure about that.
Yeah.
I think that's also a question for legal. That's one of the reasons why I also asked if they were still carrying their insurance. They had
Yeah,
active
I will
insurance
check into that.
policy, very important as well,
Mhm.
especially when you're that far in debt. And my first question is, are they paying their insurance?
Yeah.
And is it valid up to this point? Is it still a viable insurance policy? So,
I think just last week, there was access finally to the bank account and credit cards and things like that. So we'll have a better idea of those payments now.
okay, because
And to be honest, I have very little to do with it. I know that the mayor and CIO, et cetera, are working on it. It's a separate organization from the city, although we have a lot of city business with it, obviously.
okay, because going back several years, when even Alderman Mervine was on the city council, our chief management officer just said, we're looking to modernize and update the agreement between Onlight and the city.
I think it's time
what
for
his
an-
effort was in terms of doing that.
We have
on
not
that
seen
side.
any work on a new agreement. So, but, I think it would be something that would behoove us if we're going forward.
Okay, and, again, Mr. Pegues saying, I can guarantee you, projects won't collect dust. I want to make sure they're not collecting dust,
Yeah.
and they're coming forward.
Understood.
I'm just reading their own words here, going back and just doing some rudimentary research. So, we did change the policy. The biggest concern is online Aurora used to pay for everything. The last 8 years, we started stepping in and paying for things. And on top, with the additional debt, it's a huge head scratcher on Harbinger to understand. So, and if I may, even Alderman Bugg made a comment in regards to continue looking into getting grants or deals with our private, with the private fiber clients is a way to go. Actually, I think he was trying to say let's go back to what we used to have, but again, the conversation grew silent.
Yeah, losing those half of our customers, probably was a difficult hit to that, and especially a customer like Aldi, which was larger, et cetera.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, all right. Alderman Bug.
I'm not going to speak for our legal team, but in the most crude way to think about it is that there's just a lien on the asset. So
Yep.
there's a $1.1 million lien on that asset. So you can still own it, but you still have a lien. So that's a crude way of thinking about it.
Okay.
Thank you, Alderman Bug.
Well, thank you so much.
Yep, thank you.
For listening, and looking forward to hearing what you have to share, which I think time will go pretty quick, especially after we go through the budget.
Yeah, okay.
On light, so.
You know, if there's things that I can have them provide you earlier, I will.
All right, appreciate it
thank
very
you.
much. So, Clerk, I'd like to go back to that held resolution for, I guess we're just going to get an update right now, but it still stay on as a held item. Ms. Coronado, could you please come up to the microphone? Thank you for your patience and sticking around for this. So, Alderman Bug, if you could just reiterate your question.
Oh, just to have the introduction on, like I said, this matter. There's usually numerous questions on this, and like you said, Blue Cross Blue Shield sending over more information, but just a general
Sure.
overview of what we're looking at here.
Sure, so this item is specifically for an increase to the individual stop loss, which has remained at $325,000 per claimant for the past 4 years. This year, the recommendation by Assured Partners, our third-party organization, they have recommended that we increase it to $375,000. This would be the individual stop loss for each employee. And so the price for HMO would be $70.58 per employee, and that is inclusive of any dependents that's baked into each employee. And then for PPO and high deductible, it's $140.89. And as we know, insurance rates continue to rise, so that is the need to increase the individual stop loss level. The missing items would be the number of claims that have exceeded it, to provide you with more information as to why this increase is needed. But Blue Cross Blue Shield did need a little bit more time to provide that data. Therefore, that's why we're asking to put it on hold.
This it's just very similar to the other asks. I mean, they're looking at across the board, but they're hoping 24%. That's the number overall that I'm seeing.
The increase in individual stop loss is roughly, it would have been 24%, but
Right.
we can reduce it to 3.7%
Right.
by increasing our stop loss.
Right.
So in essence, our insurance rates would have had to fluctuate based on that. So we're attempting to minimize the impact on employees during this critical time by only increasing the insurance rates 2.5% for HMO, PPO.
Right. For
Yep.
the others, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Oh, that's about it. Appreciate you, again, your time and your patience.
Motion to adjourn.
There is no need for a closed session. Motion adjourned by Alderman Franco,
Second.
second by Alderman Damborero. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, 5-0. We are adjourned at 4:05 PM. Thank you, one and all.